Welcome to the Richard Lloyd USA YouTube channel. I'm Richard Lloyd. Today I'm going to be making a video that was generated by one of the comments on my YouTube channel by a gentleman called Russ L. And I'll show you what it is here. But basically what I'm going to be doing in this video is showing you how to upgrade, how to install Windows on a bare bones machine. In other words, on this video I'm going to show you how to take a machine with no operating system on it at all and put Windows 10 into it, installation into it. Now these files are available for download for free, so I'll show you how to get those as well. I don't know what issue Russ was having. You can see it here, the thread, and no idea why, but he couldn't get it to install Windows 10 to install on his machine. Now I'm going to be using a USB thumb drive, and you're going to need a USB thumb drive of 8 gigs in size or bigger. This one's 32, so should be no problem with that, but you're going to need that. And of course you're going to need a computer, PC, and something that has no operating system on it but a hard drive. So this machine here is the one I'm going to wipe clean, and I'll show you how I do that as well. Of the operating system, the one we're looking at right now is going to be deleted, and I'm going to start with a bare drive, nothing on it, just the USB thumb drive with the installation files on it, and walk you through the process of doing that. Now unfortunately for Russ, he couldn't get it to happen, and he ended up taking it to the Geek Squad, and there is one more thread to this where he responds to me and says it cost him $200. So hopefully he'll see what happened or what went wrong in his case. And there's many places where the installation of this could fail. I think the biggest one, from what I can tell, would be the option to boot off a USB thumb drive isn't automatically enabled, or you don't know how to get that to happen. So I'll show you the different ways that it can happen on this machine once we start going. So yeah, sorry Russ, but thanks for the question, and it generated this video. So yeah, comments, questions, anything you want to tell me, just put it in the comment section below this video. Also suggestions, anything else you want to communicate to me. I do look through them regularly and do respond to them regularly as well, and I really appreciate them too. Also, if you like my channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification to get notifications every time I put up a new video. Okay, so let's get down to doing this. So here we got Windows, obviously. If you want to know something about Windows, which is kind of crucial to know, and that is most computers come with Windows already installed. And what that means is that there's a digital fingerprint on your computer, on the hardware itself. Usually I think it's on the based on the motherboard. And unless you change the motherboard into a totally different one, then once it's digitally signed or digitally certified by Microsoft, it's always digitally certified by Microsoft. And all you got to do is install Windows into it, and then connect to the internet, and it will, once you do the updates, it will automatically activate itself. So I'll show you how to check what your activation status is here, and so you can see the difference between now and what we're going to have once we install. And so here you go to settings. So go to your start button, go to your gear here for settings, or any way you can get to settings. Then you're going to go update and security here, right there. And over here you'll see a checkmark activation. So go here and you can see that under Windows Edition, it's Windows 10 Pro. Windows is activated with the digital license. So that means that this is a legal copy of Windows and it's been activated with Microsoft. Now, like I said, once that happens, Microsoft basically takes a fingerprint of your hardware. Usually I believe it's just your motherboard, so you can change everything else and not mess up your activation. But don't quote me on that. But I think you have to do some major hardware changes for the fingerprint to get messed up. And then it stores that on a database on the internet. And anytime you connect to the internet with Windows, it checks and sees if you have an active version. This one obviously has a digital version. And of course, you're going to need an internet connection to activate this, okay? So I'm assuming you have all that. Here, if you want to look at learn more, we're going to let's use Firefox here and install it. Yes, the procedure is more or less the same for Windows 11, but I'm not going to show you that because Windows 11 is a little tricky to install. basically, if your hardware is not compatible with Windows 11, it will crash. It will be a mess. So it's best, as far as I'm concerned, to install Windows 10 first and then upgrade from there to Windows 11, because in the process of upgrading, your machine will be tested by Windows to see if it's compatible with the next version, or version 11. And if it's not, it won't let you do it. Okay, so start with that. And you can see here you have several versions after clicking on that link. You got Windows 11 and Windows 10, and basically not much changes there. As you can see, the page stays more or less the same. And to check your activation status, I just showed you. And again, mine says Windows is activated, right? Actually, it's activated with a digital license, which means I have a legal copy. So if yours says either one of these things, activated or activated with a digital license, you're good. If it's not, then you'll get, these other things, which are, again, this is still activated here, and Windows is not activated. So here you will need either a license or a key to activate it. But that's not what we're doing here. We're going to install it. So let's close this out. So basically, that's how you check to see if you've got a legal version in your machine, and if this machine is already digitally activated, and it is. That means I can wipe it out, which was what we're going to do, reinstall Windows, and it will be fine. It will reactivate itself once I connect to the internet, okay? And you can manually do it as well. I'll show you that as well. Now, on top of all this, there's really no way to know whether a blank machine you get, say you buy a laptop on eBay, it might be digitally activated, but if there's nothing on the hard drive, or there isn't a hard drive in it, there's really no way to tell, if Windows is not installed in it, other than doing what I'm going to show you to do here, which is install Windows on it and see if it activates. And if it does, you're off to the races. Otherwise, you're going to have to buy a license from Microsoft or a vendor online. And when you're buying a license, if you're going to do that, make sure it's a Microsoft partner so that you're not getting ripped off, and you know that it's certifiable, that it's genuine Windows. And again, it won't activate if it's a fake. Okay, so again, thanks to Russ for this. So let's go find this software. Here we're going to go and do a Google search for. We're just going to do a Google search for Windows 10 installation media. So there you go, Windows 10 installation media. Click on that, and then you get support at Microsoft. Create installation media for Windows, Microsoft support. That's what we want. And here we'll go down to Windows 10, which is what we're going to do. And you can, click the update assistant, whatever. We're not doing that. We're going here to create Windows 10 installation media and download now. Okay. Now there's different ways to do this, but I'll walk you through the USB procedure here. And yeah, this is what they call a bare metal install, what we're going to be doing, which is mean nothing on the computer, no operating system, no software, nothing, just a hard drive. And we're going to boot it up and install it. There is other options in installing Windows, like reinstalling it over top of itself, which I will probably do a video on after this one. So let's go and download now. And you get this media creation tool, 22H2, and I've already downloaded it once, but it doesn't matter. Just click on that file and it will open up. And here we're going to click on yes. And now it's going to take a little bit to getting a few things ready, which means it's downloading a bunch of stuff. And I'll fast forward to the end of this process here of this circle going around in circles and circles and circles. All right, we've got the accept decline on the license. Of course, we're going to do that. Take your thumb drive, which I'm going to do here, and put it in one of your USB ports on your computer, the computer you're using to download these files. It doesn't matter. You can do this on any Windows computer. So I'm doing that on this machine. Plug it in. There we go, and you can see there I've got something on it already, which is, you know, the installation of this already, but because I run through all this already. So here we're going to click on accept, and it doesn't, make sure that your thumb drive doesn't have any data on it you want to keep, because this thing's going to format it and wipe it out. It's just going to create a whole new thumb drive, and that thumb drive will be what we use to boot the machine. And yeah, in the meantime, make sure you, if you don't know how to make your computer boot with USB thumb drive, not all of them do this automatically, but a lot of them, if there is no no operating system on it, will go looking for a thumb drive automatically. Mine is set to do that, but I'll show you how to manually tell it to do it too. But all PCs are different. So for instance, my laptop, I have to hit the F9 key while it's booting. My other laptop, I had to hit escape on it. The other one is F1. And on this computer here, this is a Tower PC, it's F8. So again, it's different on every machine, and I'll show you how to stop the boot process if you have a pause key on your keyboard, and then you usually it tells you, okay? So here you have two options: upgrade this PC now. We don't want to do that. We want to create installation media USB flash drive, okay? And I already put it in the port so the computer knows it's there, and we're going to go next. Now you get these options, and it's going to go with the default that I have in this machine, which is Windows 10. If you uncheck here, you can choose different options, like, you know, the language. Windows 10 is all we got here. And here, X64 means the processor is a 64-bit processor. There used to be little tablets, little Dell tablets, and actually Acer made some too. A whole bunch of people made them, little pocket kind of PCs, little small laptops. And they're 32-bit processors. So you can choose that, or you can choose both. But here, I'm just going to leave it on 64. And 64 bits, most PCs in the last 10 years are 64-bit PCs, okay? So here, I'm just going to go back to use recommended options. Default, next. Now, you can create an ISO file, which will create something that you can burn a DVD to, right? So you can take the ISO file, use a burning program, and burn it to a DVD, and then boot your machine with a DVD instead of USB. But we're going with USB, and as it says, it needs to be at least 8 gigs. Mine's 32. And if you want to find out how much space is on your drive, just go over here to File Browser, right-click the drive, go to Properties, and it will tell you, in this case, it says 32 gigs or 29, whatever. It's more than enough, right? So right-click it, choose Properties, and it'll tell you, all right? And then we're going to do here we're going to click on next, and it says D. Now verify for sure that you're putting this on the right drive. In my case, it's USB D. You know, if you put it on the wrong drive, you might wipe a drive out that you don't want to wipe out, especially if you have multiple drives in your machine. So verify you're going to the right place. Pretty evident there. So here we're going to hit next, and of course we're going to get more of this, getting a few things ready. And then it's going to go through the progress. So I'll fast forward this to the end of this because there's no need to explain this. It's just going to go to 100% and go to the next step. All right, it went through a download process where it went to 100%, and now it's going through a progress process, and it's going to go to 100% again. Hopefully at that point we'll be done. We'll see, but I'll pick it up on that point as well. Okay, we're approaching 100% here, so I'll pick it up and see what happens. It's pretty straightforward actually, but and again, you know, faster your internet connection, the faster this will happen. So have patience with it. Okay, that's it. Your USB flash drive is ready, and you're done. Just click finish on this window. There you go. Close this up. And if you want to look at your drive to see what you got, I'll go over here. And you'll see you've got a setup application, so on and so forth. Again, don't try and run it here in Windows. It's, well, I mean, you can, but this is not the function. What we're going to do here is boot up with this thumb drive. So let's eject it. So right click it here, and hit eject. Another way of doing it is down here on your taskbar. Go over here to your thumb drive, safely remove hardware and eject media. You can go there as well. So let's just go there. And we're going to go here. And that's it. Now it says safe to remove the hardware. So let's do that. There we go. We got the thumb drive all done. We'll put that in back into the USB port and reboot the computer. And I'll pick it up on the boot screen so you guys can see how what I have to hit to make it happen. But again, every computer is different, so just showing you this for an example. Okay, so putting it back in and rebooting. I'm assuming that you're not doing the way I am, but you may reboot it. I'm going to shut this down and restart it and pick it up on that end. All right, I've paused this screen, and I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but most keyboards have a pause key. If you hit the pause key on the boot screen, you can see this menu forever, or until you hit an option here. Though it's not really all that evident, F8 is what I need to push to get the option to choose the boot device. So I'm going to do that and hit F8, and then hopefully it'll choose. I'll get the menu for choosing the USB thumb drive to boot off. So let's go and do that. I'm hitting F8. Yep, I saw it there. It said boot selection chosen. There we go. So mine is called generic USB generic storage device. Yours may be called differently. And I'm going to choose that. And you get this blinking cursor thing, and you'll get a small flash. I mean, this is the way it works on my computer. You get a small flash of Windows here in a second. Hopefully I'll capture that. And just so you know, this looks like it's stuck. It's not. It's actually doing something right now. There it is. See that little flash? Now it goes way back, and the cursor keeps going on the top corner here. And it looks like it's stuck, but it's not. In my case, it takes about 3.5 minutes or 3 minutes to actually show you any progress. So if yours does the same as this, just be patient. Let it go for 3, 5, 10 minutes. Go have a coffee and come back. Though it looks like it's stuck, it really isn't. In my case, I have an older motherboard, Xenon 5890, I believe, processor, and dual SLI NVIDIA cards. So I think it's just going through my hardware and going, okay, what do you got here? Let's figure it all out so that we can install the right parts of Windows to make this machine work. That's what I think it's doing. So I'll pick this up in 2 or 3 minutes when it's caught up to where it should be. All right, I've gone fast forwarded to this point. You can see I'm getting the little circle and the Windows emblem, and soon we should be getting to the action menu, and we'll move forward from there. There we go. All right, so we got Windows set up, and like I said, it takes a while on my machine. Maybe yours will be quicker or slower. Just be patient with it. It'll show up. Again, I thought I was stuck for a while, and it's like, okay, I'll just go and come back and see what happens. So 3.5 minutes to get to this screen on my computer, but good, right? So we've got the language options, the time and currency format, and the US keyboard. So I'm keeping all these settings. These are perfect for me. I'm just going to click on next. Now, you've got the option to repair your computer here. I haven't explored that yet, and that's not what we're here for. We're here to install now. And at the end of this video, I'll show you how I wipe this hard drive using GParted, this little tool I use on a USB thumb drive. Works great. Now, here you get the option to activate Windows. Now, I said earlier on that there's really no way to tell whether your machine's been activated before. Actually, I thought about it, and there is. There could be an activation sticker, or what they call a COA, a certification of authenticity sticker on your computer, and it may have a product key on it. So if you have that, try it. If it doesn't work, don't worry about it. It's probably already digitally licensed anyway, because most computers these days are by Windows, because most computers ship with Windows by default. So I'm just going to click here on I don't have a product key, and it's okay, right? If yours doesn't work, just choose that option. Here, I know I got Windows 10 Pro. If you don't know what you have, choose one. I would go with Pro every time, and if it doesn't like it, it'll say, well, that's not, it'll go back down to whatever it is that you're supposed to have, I believe. Otherwise, you can just reinstall, right? Here we're going to go next. And of course, the license terms. You can scroll through this and read it if you wish. Actually, one of the things about this is kind of interesting is that it in here you'll see that it says that it's right here. Actually, we grant you the right to install and run one instance of this software on your device. So that it's a licensed device. It's not licensed to you, it's licensed to the actual computer. And if you own the computer, of course, by proxy, it's licensed to you, but it's licensed to the device, as you can see here, right here in the licensing terms. So that's really cool because, like I said, you buy a computer off the internet and it's blank. It might have a license already attributed to it, and you can rock and roll by just running this program, which is what I'm showing here. And I'm sure that Russ L. had a license on his computer because he had Windows on it before he took it to the Geek Squad. So here I'm going to hit next after you click on accept the license terms. And, here's your options. Obviously, we don't have any upgrade ability here because the drive is wiped. It's a clean drive. So we're going to choose custom, right? Install Windows only. And install Windows only, and the files and settings and applications are moved. Basically it's saying you're doing a bare bones install here. Okay, so just click on this, and you see I have a 500 gig or 465 gigabyte drive. Leave it alone. Just unallocated space means that it's not allocated. If you have things on your drive, well, this is a good place. If you wanted to delete it and start fresh, you could just choose to delete those partitions here, as opposed to doing the GParted method that I use, that I show at the end of the video. So here we go, and click next, and then stick around for the end of the video if you want to see how I did that. And next we go. And this is a process of copying Windows files, getting files ready for installation, all these things that you see listed here. So I'm just going to pause here, let this all go through, and pick it up when it's done doing this, so I can guide you through the rest of the installation. Right here we can see that we're installing 72, 73, and yeah, so it's just going to go through this till we get to a reboot screen, and you can either choose to reboot or it will reboot on its own on a timer. So I'll let that wind through here. And it shouldn't take too long on this computer. Maybe yours will take longer. I don't know. Or shorter if it's faster. All right, it's going to finish up here in a second, and you want to take the thumb drive out at this point. 10 seconds to do that, or just hit the restart. But I've taken the thumb drive out of the USB port, and the machine will reboot at this point. And I'll pick it up on the other side. Okay, we're rebooting. And there we go. And the Windows flag or emblem and the circle. So I'll just fast forward through the monotonous stuff. Continue on. Okay, we're getting a reboot right now. More Windows flags. This will happen. This process definitely requires some patience. So. There we go. We've got United States. Let's start with the region. So by default we are correct here. So we're just going to hit yes. choose the one that you want. But here I want the US keyboard. That's defaults. I don't need a different layout, so skip. All right, here you have the option to connect to the internet if you wish or not. And I'm going to say I don't have internet here just to show you how Windows activates itself once you put it on the internet. But right now I want to go without being connected to the internet. It'll actually go faster if you do that, by the way, because it won't be doing any updates while it's installing. It'll just be installing stuff that's on the actual that was on the actual USB thumb drive, and it will update itself after you get on the internet. But up to you how you do it. You can actually say connect here and off you go, right? But here I'm going to say don't have internet. And we're going to continue with the limited setup. You can do this advanced stuff afterwards anyways, as it says here. So continue with the limited setup. And it will be faster. And here I'm going to put a whole bunch of bogus information because you know, it's the internet, and you don't put your real information on these videos. And security questions you have to answer, set up what you want. Fluffy. And no, that's not the first name of my first pet. None of these answers are true, by the way. You said where you were born. Let's say New York. And no, I wasn't born in New York. And city your parents met. Something simple. Yeah, Toronto. And no, that's not where they met. So yeah, put your stuff in, go next, right? Here you can say, change your location information, find my device, all this stuff. That's up to you. Scroll through it. You know, you can accept it. I'm just going with the defaults. You can change it if you wish. And Cortana, they got rid of Cortana on 11, but you can accept this or not. I'm going to say not now. And it's just going to go through a setup process now from all the options that you put in. We're getting everything ready for you. So again, I'll let this scroll through, and I'll probably speed it up and pick it up at the end where it actually asks me you know, for human input. So currently just going to let this roll and speed it up. Okay, we're at the installation screen. So once you get to this point, Windows is actually installed, but it's not activated, and I want to show you that. That's why I did it the way I did it. Again, it could be activated at this point if you had connected to the internet during the installation, but I wanted to show you that. So go to your Windows button over here, go to Settings, the gear, scroll down to Update and Security, and over here on the menu on the left you'll see Activation, right? So click on that, and you'll see unable to reach Windows activation servers. So it's not able to connect, so it's not able to activate your Windows right now. But it says Windows 10 Pro, and so it's not activated. So let's connect to the internet and let it activate itself, and it will. I know it will because I've done this, you know, a couple, half a dozen times. So hit connect here on my Wi-Fi, and next, and choose the way you want to connect. I'm going to say yes here, and we're connected. Ta-da! Setting up device, USB receiver. Basically, it's Windows has now got access to the database and to the updates and all the drivers, and ta-da! You saw that, right? Windows 10 Pro. Windows is activated with a digital license. I didn't have to put any numbers in it at all. So, as I said before, this is licensed to a device and basically a machine. And this machine has been activated or licensed to have Windows 10 Pro. So there we go. That's how we install it. You don't need a key or anything like that. Windows or Microsoft's activation servers figure that out for you, and off you go. So if you want to do a bare metal install of Windows, that's how you do it. From now, and again, I'm going to continue this video from here on, but it's all bonus stuff. I will put in the GParted wipe of this drive in here as well. But here's my recommendations from this point. Go to Windows Update and check for updates. Now, before I check for updates, I want to show you this. Get ready for Windows 11. Basically, that's why I totally suggest that you go with a Windows 10 installation and upgrade to 11, because if you don't meet the hardware requirements for 11 and you install 11, you're going to have no end of headaches and it won't work for you. Okay, so if you go through 10 and then do the check hardware requirements, as you see here, this link, it will check your machine to see if it's a valid machine or has the security features required to run Windows 11. This machine I know does not, so I'm not even going to go there. But if you want to see if yours does, just click on this link and go forward. That's for another video. And since I can't actually get all the way there, there's no point in showing you that. I'm just going to leave that as this way, and you can upgrade onto 11 just by going through that procedure. And it's pretty straightforward. Just answer the questions and move forward. So here we're just going to click on check for updates. And by the way, Windows is checking for updates whether I check on that button or not. It's going to do that. It just does automatically check for updates, okay? Okay, so, here's everything else that's going on. Advanced options, I'm not going to get in there. This will come up with a list of, yeah, there you go. An entire list of updates required, and after these updates are installed, you're going to have to reboot and redo the check for updates until it says you're all updated, you're all okay. So at this point, it's downloading, installing stuff here. Go down to the optional quality updates available. So I'm going to click on View All Optional Updates, and the updates and the checking for updates is continuing to happen in the background. Anyway, here I'm just going to choose all of these. The cumulative update preview, the Marble RAID controller, the other hardware, Intel, and Intel Corporation Bluetooth. And then I don't know if you can see this or not, but my screen is currently blanking out and the resolution is getting better, which is great because the drivers for the video card are starting to be installed. Here we're going to go to all these Intel Net and Intel Bluetooth things here. And just so you know, Intel has a utility that will scan your hardware for all the Intel hardware that you're running, like let's say a video card or a processor, which I am in this case, motherboard, Bluetooth, and in my case also a Wi-Fi adapter, and it will update those drivers periodically when they come up with updates. So you can use that update utility, and I'll show you that in a minute, to keep your hardware running in an optimized manner. Okay, look at that. NVIDIA control panel says just got installed. I'm going to launch that because I don't want to lose it. And here, before I go anywhere, I'm just going to say download, install the things I chose. So all that's going to keep on happening in the background. Windows updates, right? All pending and going, and rocking and rolling over there. Here, I'm going to agree and continue to the NVIDIA software license. And boom, my control panel comes up. And as you can see, I got two GeForce GTX 780 Ti's, SLIs. Yeah, they're old school, but they work really nicely for what I need. I don't need graphics performance as much. I need graphics CPU performance to render my videos. I render my videos in 4K, and that requires a lot of computational power to make the 4K videos. And these two GeForce GTX 780 Ti's do a pretty good job of crunching graphics. They're not that great for gaming and all that because they don't have that much memory, but I don't need graphics performance. I need graphics rendering performance, and these things have it. And I may do a third one if the price of the 780 Ti's goes back to a decent level. Basically what I paid for these when I bought them, and then I will build a machine that can take 3 of them at a time. And I may make a video on that as well. So here we're going to go to SLI configuration, and just to make sure that SLI is enabled for me, and it is. I've done this once and it wasn't enabled, and I was like, whoa, that was weird. I had to physically press the radio button over here and get it to be enabled, but this is working right. So I've got this set up, and it's seeing my capture box here, so that's perfect. Close this off, and here we got a download error on the NVIDIA driver, probably because something needs to restart. Let's go take a look. I've got a lot of things going on here at one time. So I'm going to click the retry. What the heck? You never know. And it's checking for updates. And I will install the Intel utility, but after this is done. And again, pretty boring, 100, 100, 100. It's going to install this stuff, and it can only install one of these, I believe, at a time. So yeah, antivirus, well, you want that. That's Microsoft. Another excellent and free virus checker I use on my Windows machine is called Avast. There's a paid-for version and there's a free version, and I've had, no problems running the free version without any, and it's free forever if you choose it. You just need to keep going with it once in a while, updating it. And it'll tell you when it wants to update. So down here, you'll see the notifications. Make sure that while you're running these updates, you take a look at these notifications. So right now it's searching for a screen resolution or a display driver for screen resolution. So yeah, and it says here you want these because performance and battery life may be reduced until a compatible driver is finished installing. If you're using a laptop, you want all these drivers to be updated. Again, I'll show you the Intel utility. Let's go get that now while we're waiting. All right, and Edge wants to tell you all about itself, first time running, and complete that and close this off. I don't need that. And yeah, so I'm gonna go to the Intel, just do a search on Google for Intel driver update utility. I don't even know what it's called, but once you do that, you'll find it. Intel and driver support assistance. So let's go there. And I'm going to install it. Again, I take no responsibility for any of this stuff, but this is what I use. I use it all the time, and it works great for keeping all my drivers for my Intel stuff updated, right? You can or don't use it. It's up to you, right? There we go. And here we're going to just hit open file. I'm looking at all this stuff over here. It's still installing and pending and whatever. So here you got to agree. Well, look at this. What's this pop up? Oh, no. Here we're going to say agree to the license terms. Again, you don't need to run it if you don't want to. It's up to you. I just think I got an Intel motherboard, Intel processor, Intel Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. Nice to have the latest drivers for that stuff when Intel makes them. And like I said, they're not third party, they're Intel's. There we go. And installing. Theme of the day. And again, I'll put the GParted. Yeah, I'm not going to do restart right now. I'll wait for Windows to tell me to restart. And as you can see here, it says already I got one update. So I'm going to hit update the software. What the heck? See what it says. Leave this out of the way. I'm just going to hit X on that. It's going to be restart. Yeah, of course. Could not find, right. We have to reboot. So we'll reboot and then come back into the Intel driver. And this is saying install. Pending install. So I'll wait and I'll pick this up once this is done. And it'll most likely tell me to reboot. And then we'll reboot and see how all that panned out. Okay. So catch you with that in a minute. All right, gotten to the end of that download install. Now it's going to ask for a restart. So we're going to click on restart here and pick it up on the reboot. Here we go, restart. And the updates will happen on the actual reboot. So like I said, let this work its way through and then I'll pick it up on the other side. All right, I had to redo this last little bit as my capture device decided not to capture my desktop. But hey, when I came back up, I got this nice screen. Let's log in. And yeah, also we need to log into it now as we didn't after the install, which is, you know, good. Security features are being turned on. Let's go to Windows Updates here. See how we're all doing with the updates. Should be good. Check for updates. And even though I didn't even check, it still tells me PC currently doesn't meet the minimum requirements for Windows 11. So it did it on its own, okay? But, you know, I pretty well know what I need to put into this motherboard to make it happen. It's a security device. But currently I'm happy with 10 anyway. So we've got, well, look, another update here, Defender antivirus. These happen all the time, by the way. So check your updates regularly. I got the green check mark here. So we're basically done with that. I did run the Intel update down here earlier on. It did find a bunch of updates for the drivers that Windows Updates did not. But unfortunately, I didn't capture that because my device decided to not capture that section of video. So basically here I've gone to it, and it's like Windows Updates as well. You know, it says your drivers and software are up to date. If there was something needed, it would actually tell you here to update it, or that there was an update and you could download and install it from here. So that's cool. Next, I'll show you how I wiped this drive out originally so we could start this process with GParted. And after that, you know, that should be it for the video. All right, this is bonus material. Didn't put this in the original part of the video or the primary part because I'm assuming that you're putting Windows on a, you know, bare metal machine, so there wouldn't be anything on the hard drive anyway. But I'm making this machine a bare metal machine, so I'm going to show you my tool for doing that. It's called GParted. It's a live distribution on a USB thumb drive, a live Linux distribution, but it's straightforward and it works really well. And so yeah, I'm about to wipe that version of Windows we were looking at the primary part of this video out so that we can load it. So again, I didn't put it there because we're going on bare metal, but here we go. I'm going to hit the F8 here for the pop-up for boot options. There we go. And I should get the blue screen asking for which one I want to go with. And I'm going to go with generic mass storage class here. Hit enter, and that will get us to GParted. I like running it on RAM as it's really nice to run it just off the machine. In other words, the USB thumb drive won't be running the program. It'll be running on the machine by itself, which is faster, by the way. But also make sure that I can take the USB thumb drive after I start out and not have any chance of damaging it by formatting it or anything like that. But you know, if you're careful, that should never be an issue. But as you see here, it shows you what I chose, large fonts. All the programs will be copied to RAM, so you can remove the media, CD or USB flash drive later. Okay, so this will take a little bit. Wait for this to boot, and when we're on the screen or the GParted tool screen, I'll show you what you need to do to erase the drive. These are errors related to my Wi-Fi card. It doesn't matter. I'm not doing any networking here. I'm just going to go with all the defaults and just, you know, enter. And at this point, I can take the thumb drive out of the machine like that. It's out. So the only drive in this machine will be the hard drive we're going to reformat, which is an SSD drive. So right here, we choose it. Move it over here so you can see. and I'm going to delete it. Boom, gone. And then I'm just going to go like this, apply. Okay, and there's this little partition here. I'm going to get rid of it as well. So we have a completely bare drive like this, and then hit apply. There we go. That's installing Windows 10 using the Windows installation media method. I hope that helped you out. And yeah, the GParted video part, I hope you enjoyed that as well. I will have put that in this video by this point. So that's it for my video. If you liked my video and it helped you out in some way, do me a huge favor. Click the like button or the like thumbs up here at the bottom. Also, if you want to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe, like and share. And also the comments section below. Put your comments, suggestions, anything you want to say to me in those comments. I respond to them regularly. I read them all the time, and I really love them, especially the positive stuff. And even if you have some, constructive criticism, I love that too. So no problem there. Also, as part of subscribing, make sure you click the bell. That's the notification icon, the bell that notifies you every time I put up a new video, and then you can watch it at your own leisure. Once again, thank you so much for watching, for supporting my channel and my efforts here on YouTube, and stay healthy and stay happy. We'll see you in the next video.